So last night was the finale of KirameiZenkaiJyu, and it brought along with it a brand new announcement for the next Sentai V-Cinext film, Zenkaiger vs. Kiramager vs. Sempaiger? What could that possibly mean? Well, we have a lot of really cool things to discuss in relation to this movie, so let's go and get right on into it. So the Sentai Versus series continues once again for another year with this brand new film announcement. So this is very similar to what happened last year. Now, once upon a time, back, only like 5 years ago or so, was this still a tradition. They used to do these Versus movies in the winter, like before the current show would wrap up, and it was always a tradition that they would come out sometime around January of the new year and be sort of towards the end game, the farewell of the current team. You get to see the team from the year before for the, probably the last time as well, and probably for the first time in a while, and then usually the next team would have a little bit of a little cameo appearance in there. But we haven't really done that in a couple of years here. Last year, at the end of Kiramager, the big film announcement was Kiramager vs. Ryusoulger, which came out in the summer, and it had these really cool armors with the brand new Kiramager Ryusoul that never got a toy release and all that kind of cool stuff. And here, we have something kind of similar, but this one is actually going to get a toy release. We don't know what it's going to do, but we'll get to that here in a little bit. But they did announce the brand new V-Cinext film, Zenkaiger vs. Kiramager vs. Sempaiger, which is definitely something interesting that we're going to get into there. But basically, this film is going to be released in Japanese cinemas at the end of April 29th specifically, before it's released on home video like DVD and Blu-ray in September, specifically September 28th. Now, there's a lot of different versions of this that you can buy, which it is available on Amazon Japan right now, and it will ship to the United States, so you can pre-order it there. Of course, it's a Japanese DVD and Blu-ray, so they're very, very expensive, with the DVDs being almost $50 to start out with, and the collector edition of the Blu-ray with the gimmick item is $130, and I would know because I pre-ordered it. I'm super, super excited that they announced this film. I love both of these seasons, I love both of these teams and their casts so much, and I really, really wanted to see them interact here. I've loved Kiramager a lot. It's one of my favorite Sentai seasons that I've ever seen, and Zenkaiger was a complete and total blast. What a fun show this was. So I cannot wait to see the casts of these two shows interact. We've still seen a little bit of Kiramager content in the last year, thanks to the TTFC Yodana specials, which I'm not going to get into that. They're not really what I wanted to see from Kiramager. Let's just say that at the very least. But this is what I want to see from Kiramager here. Now, I have a really big hope that I doubt is going to happen, but, maybe it could, possibly with the new gear that we're going to be seeing in this film. But I would really, really like to see a Go KirameiSilver in this film. We actually got to see what a Go KirameiSilver would look like on the Kiramager final stage show, so we do know that there's some kind of suit of it that exists somewhere, and we've seen something like this happen before with Versus movies, where specifically in Goseiger vs. Shinkenger, when Shinken Gold got to use Super thanks to a special card upgrade. And I'm not saying that Go KirameiSilver is definitely going to happen. We have no evidence to prove that it will, but I really would like to see that happen in this movie because I thought that suit looked really, really cool, and he never got to use it in a Kiramager regular media that isn't the stage show. But overall, this film is going to be really fun, really exciting. We haven't really seen a lot of it. We just got two little teaser trailers. One that had a little bit more leaning towards the Sempaiger stuff, and another one that was kind of a little bit more of actual footage from the upcoming film. And it looks like there's going to be something to do with food. It's definitely a very big theme of both of these teasers. So I'm very interested to see kind of where that plays into things and everything like that, because I'm sure it's going to be a big plot element here. But basically, what we can see from the cast list and different interactions on Twitter and stuff like that, it does look like we're going to get all 6 of the Kiramagers back. We're going to get all 6 of the Zenkaigers, including, I think, Stacy's going to be there as well. I think Mabushina is going to be back from Kiramager. So kind of just the big main cast members of both shows, which makes complete sense. So, what is Sempaiger? Well, we don't really know. We don't really 100% know what that is yet, but it's heavily kind of hinted at that it's going to be some sort of legend Sentai team, probably with returning actors. Think of the Dream Sentai team from Gaoranger vs. Super Sentai, or Boken Silver's team from Bokenger vs. Super Sentai, or even whatever that team was called from those Zyuohger special DVD Blu-ray specials. Think of something like that, where it's just kind of this hodgepodge team of random Sentai cast members. At least that's what we are expecting it to be. Now, we've already seen a couple of hints as to who could be part of the Sempaiger team. Some people think it's just like one returning actor, but I definitely think it's supposed to be a team. And why would they name it like a Sempaiger, you know, like jur with like a team, if it wasn't just more than one person? But basically, from what we can see in the teaser, there's especially this shot here when they're all reaching for the food on the grill, and another glove shows up and grabs and tries to grab for the food as well. And based off that glove, a lot of people are thinking that that is the suit of Mega Red. So we're thinking that Mega Red's actor is going to be back for this. It does kind of make sense. It is Mega Rangers, I believe it is, their 25th anniversary. I know people were also saying that there's a Mega Red connection with the food as well. And I'm going to be honest, I have not seen Mega Ranger, so I'm not 100% sure what that connection is. But I mean, I definitely believe that. I'm sure there is a connection there that I'm not seeing as well. But basically, we also have some possible hints from some of the other Sentai Twitter accounts, because while they made this big announcement, of course, the Zenkaiger Twitter account interacted with it. They were the ones who posted it. The Kiramager Twitter account interacted with it. But 3 other very interesting Sentai Twitter accounts interacted with it. They're kind of making fans think like, actually there was 4. There was 4 Sentai Twitter accounts that interacted with it. The people were like, interesting. And those were the Ryusoulger Twitter account, the Lupin Ranger vs. Potts Ranger Twitter account, the Zyuohger Twitter account, and the 10 Gokaiger Twitter account. Now, this is very interesting. Of course, it is just the 3 most recent Sentai before Kiramager, but skipping Kyuranger and going to Zyuohger, which that's interesting. That account hasn't been super active recently, obviously. 10 Gokaiger could just be because that was the last Sentai V-Cinext, but I don't know. I mean, Kiramager definitely had a pretty big role in 10 Gokaiger, especially with the Kiramei Silver Ranger Key and Crystalia and everything like that. So it's possible that 10 Gokaiger could connect to this film, or Gokaiger could be involved with this film in some small capacity. I'm not thinking it's going to be anything big, but it's also interesting to see these other Sentai Twitter accounts interact with it. Does this mean we're going to get returning actors from Zyuohger, Lupin Ranger vs. Potts Ranger, and Ryusoulger? It's possible. A lot of them have come back for things before. You know, Zyuohger, we haven't seen a Zyuohger in a good amount of time. I think last time we saw a Zyuohger actor was Zyuo the World, and that was in Ryusoulger vs. Lupat, I believe. So it definitely has been a little bit of time. Ryusoulger just had a special, so actually they had a pretty good amount of content in 2021, so I'm sure that their actors are still around doing stuff and are willing to come back. So we don't know if that is actually something to read into yet or not, but hey, it could be. But of course, one of the biggest things to come from this announcement was the announcement of the brand new Sentai gear that's going to be released alongside the DVD and Blu-ray of this, and this is the KirameiZenkaiJyu gear. So they are, I would say, repainting. It is repainting. It's also like a different color of the plastic for the ZenkaiJyu gear, which definitely an interesting one to, resell us. It does make sense though. It was like the only gear, one of the only gears that had, or it was the only gear that had electronics in it and its own dedicated thing. And so that is interesting. I think it looks okay. Like, I'm not a huge fan of it. I was never the biggest fan of the ZenkaiJyu gear in general. I mean, I own it. It's a decently fun toy, but I just didn't think that it did a lot. And this one here, the color scheme is kind of neat. I do like the translucent blue. It definitely gives me Kiramager vibes, which makes sense. That's what they're going for. And the gold and the green looks okay, but I'm just very interested to see what this is going to do in the gear tweener, and I also guess the gear deleter as well. I think it's very possible that this could use some of the unused sounds, or one of the unused sounds that we haven't had from those toys. Specifically, either the special sound, or there is the Zenkaiger movie edition sound that we never got a gear for, and this is a movie, so it could work. Or it could just use the super sound again, but have brand new sounds in its own dedicated gear for whatever it's going to do. Because we don't know what this is going to do. We don't know if this is going to unlock some kind of ability, if it's going to unlock some kind of form for the Zenkaigers, or a form for the Kiramagers even possibly, since it is so Kiramager themed and everything like that. So we don't know. We don't know what it's going to have, but it's very interesting that we are getting the gimmick item released alongside of this, because this doesn't always happen for Sentai V-Cinexts. The most recent time it happened was with 10 Gokaiger, so I guess that just happened, but before that, I think last time it happened was with episode of Steiner from Kyuranger, when it came with that the unicorn, I think, Kyutama, is when the last time they did that one. So even though there could have been plenty of opportunities for them to have packed gimmick items in with home media releases, because we had like those special Rusouls that we saw in Lupin Ranger, or Ryusoulger versus Lupin Ranger, and also, of course, we also had one again in Kiramager versus Ryusoulger. Both of those could have come with those dedicated Rusouls, but we never got them. So it's just cool to get this gear released, and I am interested in seeing what it does, and I do have it on pre-order because it is a regular Sentai gear. It's not a Don Brothers toy line Sentai gear. It's a Zenkaiger toy line Sentai gear. So it was definitely one that I had to have, and I'm going to be including a link to it in the description below on Amazon Japan if you'd like to pick it up yourself. And for now, that's all we really know about Zenkaiger versus Kiramager versus Sempaiger. So I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts down in the comments below. What do you want to see in this film? Who would you like to see return if we are getting returning Sentai actors, since that still hasn't technically been confirmed, but it looks like it's probably going to happen. And are you going to pick up this new KirameiZenkaiJyu gear for your Zenkaiger toy line, or are you perfectly content with the one you have and you don't need this special edition gear, regardless of what it does? I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts down in the comments below, and until next time, you can follow me on Twitter at LittleRangerKey or LightningVPR. And until next time, Zenkai, I guess, or KirameiZenkaiZyu, or whatever it is. I guess that's how we're gonna end it.